They rule the wild with strength and fear, but even the mightiest bear can pick the wrong fight. And when it does, nature doesn't just push back, it strikes with force like never before. The lion, lean and built like a powerhouse, wasted no time going on the offensive. It threw itself at the bear with the precision and speed of a seasoned prizefighter. Blow after blow landed with force, as if the lion had been trained in the art of boxing by Muhammad Ali himself. Its paws struck like hammers, each hit carefully aimed to throw the massive bear off balance. The bear, powerful but slow to react, wasn't expecting such a fierce onslaught. It tried to counter, swiping its claws in wide arcs, but the lion was too quick, dodging and striking in rapid succession. Within moments, the bear began to realize that this fight wasn't going the way it had imagined. What it thought would be a display of dominance turned into a desperate scramble to avoid getting. A hungry bear spotted a fresh kill, seemingly unguarded. But wolves don't forget and they don't forgive. Within seconds, the air filled with snarls, the pack descended like a storm. The bear bolted, scrambling over rocks, chased like a thief. It barely escaped, humiliated and empty-handed. But stayed right where it belonged with the pack. As soon as the wolves surrounded the bear, they launched their attack with chilling precision. Each wolf darted in and out from different angles, targeting the bear's blind spots, where it couldn't easily defend itself. They bit at its flanks, legs, and lower back areas that were difficult for the bear to protect while trying to keep an eye on the swirling pack. The grizzly swung its massive paws in defense, roaring and trying to back itself into a safer position, but there was no break in the assault. But it didn't take long for the bear to realize it was in for more than it had bargained for. The lion moved like lightning, unleashing a barrage of calculated strikes, swatting with its massive paws and biting with pinpoint accuracy. It was like watching a heavyweight boxer in his prime, delivering blow after blow with practiced precision. The bear, despite its size and strength, simply couldn't keep up with the lion's relentless rhythm. With a fury that could shake the ground, Hamlet went low, slamming into the bear's legs like a wrecking ball, while Mary bit down hard, her jaws locking onto the bear's flank. The bear roared in surprise, then in pain, flailing and swiping, but the pigs were relentless. They moved with precision, honed from countless scraps with coyotes, dogs, and anything else foolish enough to cross the fence. These weren't barnyard pets, they were warriors. Thick-skinned, muscle-packed, and furious, this wild pig wasn't backing down. The bear came in calm, big mistake. With a burst of speed, the boar struck, tusks ripping into the bear's leg. Another hit sent the bear tumbling. Dazed and frustrated, it tried to recover, but the boar wasn't done. This wasn't a fight, it was a rout. The bear fled. Massive, majestic, and fiercely protective. A bear crept too close, eyeing its calves, but the moose didn't wait. It charged like a freight train, antlers down, hooves pounding. The bear miscalculated badly. It was thrown, chased, and driven out. No hesitation, no mercy. This time, it stood its ground, still as stone. The bear circled, tested, waited. But the moose didn't blink. When it lunged, the bear panicked. One blow, then another, and the predator backed off. The moose didn't chase, it didn't have to. Victory was already claimed. On this particular day, a bear had crept too close to a small clearing, where a moose cow stood guard over her calf. It thought it could get in and out quickly, maybe snatch the calf before the mother reacted, but it underestimated her by a long shot. The moment she sensed danger, her entire posture shifted. Her ears pinned back, nostrils flared, and with a warning snort, she lowered her massive head. It wasn't just a run, it was an explosion. Over half a ton of muscle and fury barreled toward the bear with thundering hooves that shook the earth. The bear didn't even wait to see how close she'd get. It spun around and bolted, crashing through the brush like a panicked deer. The mother chased it for several meters, just to make sure the message landed: "Not my calf, not today, not ever." The wolves weren't relying on brute strength. They were relying on patience and numbers. They darted in and out, snapping at the bear's flanks, nipping at its legs, constantly moving, never giving it a chance to rest. The bear fought back with everything it had, swinging its paws and turning in circles, trying to keep the attackers at bay. But the constant motion, the unrelenting pressure, it wore the bear down. Minute by minute, its breathing grew heavier, its movements slowed. Eventually, its legs buckled beneath it, and it collapsed, not from injury, but from sheer exhaustion. Vulnerable and surrounded, the once dominant predator lay still as the wolves closed in. The dog, a wiry mutt with a loud bark and a bigger heart, wasn't about to let the intruder near its home. As the bear lumbered closer, the dog exploded into action, barking, snarling, and rushing toward the giant predator without a shred of hesitation. It was all noise and motion, zigzagging, lunging, standing its ground. The bear, confused by the dog's sheer audacity, hesitated. It swiped once, then twice, but the dog was too fast. The little guardian didn't flinch. In another case, it didn't even take a full pack. Just two wolves, bold, sharp, and confident, managed to intimidate a bear enough to drive it from its own territory. They didn't even need to attack. They just made their presence known, flanking the bear, growling low and steady, showing that they weren't afraid. The bear, sensing their intent, and perhaps remembering past encounters, decided it wasn't worth the risk. It backed off, slipping into the trees, leaving its ground behind. Bear was surrounded by a determined pack of wolves, each one moving with calculated precision, their eyes locked onto the massive target. At first, the bear stood its ground, roaring and swiping with brute force, sending dirt flying with every lunge. Its strength was undeniable, and a few wolves had to dodge or retreat, narrowly avoiding its crushing blows. Minutes passed like hours. The bear's breaths came heavier, its movements slowed. Wounds opened all over its body, small at first, but they added up. The wolves never gave it a break. Eventually, the bear collapsed onto its side, still